Los Angeles, a city of dreams, lights, and endless stories. But in early 2025, one of its darkest chapters began with a spark, a fire that would rage across hills, swallow homes, and change lives forever. And now, a man stands accused of being behind it all. This is the story of Jonathan Rinderknecht. The fire, the investigation, the unanswered questions, told from the beginning to now. Southern California in January 2025 was primed for disaster. Months without meaningful rainfall had dried hillsides. Vegetation was tinder. The wind, especially Santa Ana gusts, was waiting to fan chaos. On January 7th, what began as a small smolder would become one of the deadliest fires in Los Angeles' history. But before that, there was a lesser-known spark, the Lachman Fire, on January 1st, recorded in the same hills. Officially, firefighters believed they had extinguished it. But as investigators later argued, embers burned beneath the surface, hidden, waiting. Around midnight, January 1st, 2025, law enforcement and federal investigators alleged that Jonathan Rinderknecht, then working as an Uber driver, dropped off a passenger and walked into a trail near Skull Rock in Pacific Palisades. He is accused of using an open flame, possibly a lighter, on combustible material, vegetation or paper, to start a small blaze. This would come to be called the Lachman Fire. Fire crews responded and believed they extinguished it, but in reality, embers had penetrated root systems, soil, and dense vegetation, where they smoldered. Over the next days, nothing dramatic seems to happen, until January 7th, when strong winds, Santa Ana gusts sweeping down the hills, reignited that hidden fire, and it spread rapidly across ridgelines into residential zones. That day, the smoldering embers became a wildfire of destruction. Between January 7th and late January, the blaze grew uncontrollably. The Palisades Fire, as it came to be called, would scorch more than 23,000 acres. Some sources cite approximately 6,800 structures destroyed. 12 lives were lost. Teams of firefighters, local agencies, and federal units battled it for weeks. Entire neighborhoods north of Sunset Boulevard were consumed. Homes, forests, infrastructure swallowed by flames. The fire advanced in waves driven by wind, terrain, and dry fuel. At times, air support was grounded due to dangerous conditions. In its worst moments, the fire's growth rate was described as several football fields every few minutes. Evacuation orders blanketed the area. Thousands fled. Smoke choked the city. Los Angeles faced one of its worst wildfire crises in modern memory. When the fires finally subsided, investigators from the ATF, Los Angeles Fire Department, and LAPD descended on the charred hills. The official Justice press release states that the Palisades Fire was a holdover, a rekindling of the earlier Lachman Fire, not a brand new blaze. Over 13,000 items of evidence were collected, hundreds of leads, interviews, video footage, digital logs. Crucial among them, geolocation data from Rinderknecht's phone, 911 call logs, video recordings he made, and online searches/AI-generated imagery. He had asked ChatGPT to generate a burning city scenario. He also searched queries like, "Are you at fault if a fire is because of your cigarettes?" His movements matched the location at ignition, and his behavior after the fire raised suspicion. He allegedly returned to film firefighters. But even as the case against him has many pieces, questions remain. Jonathan Rinderknecht, 29 years old, formerly an Uber driver, had lived in Pacific Palisades before relocating to Florida. According to court documents, 2 passengers described him as agitated during his shift prior to the fire. He reportedly listened, in the days leading up to the blaze, to a French rap song, Unzer Unte, whose music video depicts fire, arson, and destruction. Prosecutors say he also interacted with ChatGPT to create dystopian fire imagery. The Guardian. The justice complaint also states he wrote to ChatGPT that he once burned a Bible, saying, "It felt amazing. I felt so liberated." His story, a mix of ordinary life, potential obsession, and tragic outcomes, raises profound questions about motive, mental state, intent. Let's break down what is so far established and what still hangs in uncertainty. What appears to be proven. He was present near the ignition site. Geolocation, phone movement, video, and witness statements back that up. He made suspicious digital queries and AI imagery connected to fire. The Lachman fire began January 1st and reignited. Team evidence suggests that holdover scenario is plausible. He was arrested, formally charged with destruction of property by means of fire. What is still uncertain and not proved? His exact motive. Was it mental illness, ideological, personal frustration, thrill? Whether the lighting was fully intentional to escalate or just a spark gone wrong. Whether other ignition sources or actors were involved. The legal threshold. Prosecutors must prove intent, malice, causation in court. Some evidence, e.g., ChatGPT usage, Bible burning statements, may be contested, misinterpreted, or partially true. The final verdict, future appeals, or exonerating evidence could shift the narrative. Thus, though we have a strong case, the story is not yet over. In October 2025, authorities arrested Rinderknecht in Florida. At court, a judge denied bond, citing risk of flight, the severity of charges, and concerns about his mental health. His attorneys have begun preliminary motions. Prosecutors may seek harsh penalties if he is found guilty, including up to 20 years or more, depending on deaths. The trial is expected to involve intense forensic scrutiny, soil and root sample analysis, burn pattern modeling, digital evidence, expert witnesses, and cross-examination of his statements. As of now, the legal process continues. No final conviction. But for many, for victims, survivors, neighbors, the spark has already left scars that may never fully heal. This story is more than one man's alleged crime. It's a mirror on our time. It asks, who holds responsibility in disasters? How do we balance mental health, intent, and accountability? How well prepared are we for nature's extremes and human folly? The Los Angeles fires of 2025 remind us, in a world of tinder-dry hills and powerful winds, a single spark can become a nightmare. And when questions remain, truth must be pursued with rigor, compassion, and patience. From one spark to sweeping devastation, the alleged fire that changed a city's history. The Jonathan Rinderknecht case is still evolving. But for now, we watch, we listen, and we question. If you want to see the visual deep dive, maps, forensic evidence, and interviews, watch our full video breakdown, link in description. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you won't miss the next chapter of this story. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant.